2022 regular board meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 5:00 p.m. Roll call. Everybody's here. Adjourn to closed session. Before I adjourn to closed session, I'll read the closed session item. I'd like to announce for the record that Interim Human Resources Director Andrew C. will replace retired Human Resource Director Chris Couture and Fire Chief Dave Williams will replace Fire Chief Tim Shackelford as negotiators on the closed session item I'm about to read. Conference with labor negotiators, meet with board-appointed negotiators regarding negotiations between the unrepresented management and part-time employees and the Chino Valley Fire District per Government Code Section 54957.6. Do we have any public comment on the closed session item?
We do not have any comments on the closed session item.
Good enough. I'll now adjourn to the open session to the closed session. We'll return to the open session at 6:00 p.m. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the March 9th, 2022 regular board meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 6:00 p.m. and we'll now begin the meeting. Please note that all board members are present. Legal counsel, Isaac, could you please report out a closed session?
Sure, Board President. With respect to our notice closed session item read on the record at the start of closed session, that item will be considered under our open session agenda as part of items 12 and 13 this evening, and resolutions number 2022-03 and 22-04, at which time the board will consider formal action with respect to those items.
Thank you. If everybody would please stand up and join me with the flag salute, and please remain standing for the invocation afterwards. And Director Williams, if you could please lead us off.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing for Chaplain Keith Roby.
Please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings that are the men and women of the Chino Valley Fire District, especially those who are recognized tonight for their years of service, for their promotions, and for those just starting to join our ranks. May we all continue to embody the excellence, integrity, faithfulness, and respect that is our culture. I pray for our administrators and our firefighters for your continued protection and blessing over them. I pray for our families and the sacrifices that they've made that we might serve our community. Watch over, comfort, and bless them. We ask for your wisdom and guidance for the board members this evening and continue wisdom and guidance throughout the year. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Y'all may be seated. Thank you. Acting Clerk, do we have any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Thank you.
Presentations and announcements. Proclamation National Donate Life Awareness Month.
All right, this evening we have one proclamation on our agenda. A complete copy of the proclamation is available as an attachment to our agenda on the Fire District website. If I read it all, it'd be all that whereas this and whereas that, but we're not going to have you all listen to that much of it. But it's about National Donate Life Awareness Month, something that's very important to us here in our district. On behalf of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors, I would like to proclaim April 1st through 30th, 2022 as National Donate Life Awareness Month. Each year we invite Donate Life Ambassador Rob Ralston to join us to receive this proclamation. Rob is here with us again this evening. This time I'd like to invite Rob to come up front and to receive the proclamation.
All right, I'd like to say, first of all, thank you to the fire board. Mike Crater, the president. There's some very familiar faces here because we've been doing this. I think this is our 8th year of receiving a proclamation from you guys. And the flag raising ceremony and the flag for Donate Life will proudly wave on all 7 fire stations for the whole month of April, which is National Organ Donation Awareness Month. became an ambassador for Donate Life because about 2009, I had hernia surgery. When I was young, I had hepatitis, so I had a weakened liver my whole life. In 2009, I had umbilical hernia surgery, and for about a year or 6 months, it wouldn't heal. The wound wouldn't heal shut, and they said after about 6 months, every antibiotic you can imagine I tried. They had me on Cipro, the stuff for anthrax. Nothing was fixing it. They finally said, we're going to go in there, we're going to take out that screen. We think maybe if we give you a piece of pig skin, your body won't reject that instead of the nylon that they had in there. That promoted a whole bunch of jokes from my friends about me having pig skin in my belly. But when they opened me up, they found that I had had a raging staph infection going for 6 months that went undiagnosed. So I had MRSA virus, and it ate my liver and one of my kidneys. And I immediately went on the liver transplant list. So on the liver transplant list for 2 years. And after about 2 years, I went from 200 pounds, which is what I am now, down to about 120 pounds. And you can imagine what I look like. And at the end of an appointment, my wife and I, the doctor, said, better get your stuff together. You got about 6 months. So the wife was walking out after going to a caregivers meeting on how to deal with people that are that sick. And this police officer's wife walked up to her. I was going into a coma for like a week at a time. I'd wake up and say, oh my God, how long was it this time? And this police officer's wife said, get your husband dual listed. You'll run out of time waiting in California. California is an amazing place with amazing doctors, but there's so many people waiting for transplants. About 17 people a day die waiting on the transplant list. The phone just doesn't ring for them. So I got dual listed, and I got dual listed in Memphis, Tennessee, where my insurance was also good. And within 3 months, I got the gift of life, got a transplant. So when a man from Tennessee died, got his liver. And so here I am. I decided as soon as I got well that I'd make sure more people got lucky like me. So I became an ambassador. I started doing these proclamations with the city of Chino, Chino Hills, and I met Chief Tim Shackelford at a meeting, and I said, what do you think about flying the Donate Life flag? And we've been doing that for 8 years now. And I'm really looking forward to working with Dave, our new fire chief. I've heard nothing but great things about you coming up through the ranks, and everybody loves you. And you and I have met many times in the past, and I'm really looking forward to the bright future and the amazing things that you guys do for Donate Life. Right now, in California, there's 20,000 people waiting for the phone to ring like I was. Don Lugo High School, or Ruben Ayala, what are they? If they have a homecoming game, a football game, or a pep rally, who does it hold? About 2,000 people? You guys probably know better than I do. 2,000, 3,000 people when that stadium is full. Times 10. That's how many people in California are waiting for the phone to ring. In the whole country, or the United States, there's over 100,000 people waiting for the phone to ring. You could fill the Los Angeles Coliseum with the number of people that are waiting for the gift of life. So everybody who's here tonight, if you're not already a donor, you can be one. It takes about 10 minutes. You go to donatelifecalifornia.org, and if you've got reservations that my religion won't believe in it, every single religion believes in organ donation. You can pick and choose. You can say, when I pass away, you can just have my eyes, and you can make it possible for a blind person to see again. It's completely up to you, and you can take yourself off that list whenever you want also. So I encourage everybody to get that pink dot and become an organ donor and save more lives like mine was saved. And I thank the Chino Valley Fire District from the bottom of my heart.
Excellent. Thanks, Rob.
All right.
Rob, we're going to need another flag soon because we're going to be building a new fire station. So.
I'll get you 8.
Yeah.
I got myself
There we go.
7
Employee Service Award, Captain Mike Riley, 15 years of service. Can you please come forward?
So now I get to talk about people here for a little bit. So Mike was hired with the Chino Valley Fire District January of 2007 as a firefighter paramedic. He was promoted to engineer in September of 2020 and recently promoted to captain in January of 2022. Thank you for 15 years of service with the fire. We will be doing pictures at the end for people that we don't call up to do pictures, so don't worry, we'll be taking a break, so you guys don't have to sit through our long, boring part of the meeting with us all.
Employee Service Award, firefighter paramedic Ryan Persinian, 15 years of service. Please come forward.
No, Ryan's not here. So Ryan, once again, been here for 15 years, great guy. I know him well. He's done some great stuff with our CPR first aid program, and I'm sorry he's not here, but we'll get him up at the next one.
Explore Post 9/11 recognition.
All right, the Explore program is a component of the Chino Valley Fire District and the Division of Boy Scouts of America Learning for Life program. The program is designed to introduce the Explorer to the fire service as a possible career through training and participation in actual situations. Explorers have the opportunity to work with the community, ride-alongs with paramedics and engine companies, compete and explore muster events, and attend the Inland Empire Fire Explorer Academy. The position of Explorer is a volunteer position, but can pay many dividends in experience and training for an individual interested in a career in the fire service. Each year, certain high-achieving individuals are highlighted and recognized, and tonight we have invited the top recipients to be recognized. We'll also be recognizing the Advanced Achievement Award recipients, and firefighter, paramedic, explorer, advisor Phil Vasquez will come up and say a few words about the program and the Advanced Achievement Award.
So, good evening. Always an honor to be able to speak on this platform, but just real brief, I just wanted to touch on the new award that we're giving this year. It's the first time we're doing this, the Advancement Achievement Award. We realize that there's so many of our fire personnel who have gotten hired, who are one of our previous explorers, one of them being here with us tonight, and many others. And we've also had so many explorers that have gone on in different fields, whether it be the military, the police service, getting hired at different departments. And we just wanted to make sure that we didn't lose sight of our goal here as an Explorer program. We want to make sure that we recognize those individuals that are utilizing this program to benefit themselves, moving forward personally and professionally, and advancing their career. So we want to make sure that those, not only to recognize the district for doing such an amazing job at allowing us to be able to provide for the Explorer post, but I want to make sure that we highlight the families and the explorers that are working hard to move forward. So this Advancement Achievement Award is definitely to be able to highlight those that are moving forward in their career in fire service. Thank you.
Fantastic. So the first award we're going to give out tonight is the Community Service Award, and I'll go to Derek Ricketson. This award acknowledges dedication and devotion to the Chino Valley Fire community. Congratulations, Derek. The next award will be the Chino Valley Fire District Post 9/11 Award, and that goes to Madeline Verdugo. This award exemplifies consistent and extraordinary work achievement. This is the kind of the most valuable player equivalent. This award is voted on by peers. Congratulations, Madeline.
Can we have you stay up front for a group photo at the very end? Yeah.
The Chino Valley Fire Diesel Leadership Award goes to Lorenzo Diaz. This award recognizes leadership skills in an individual and it recognizes the positive contributions to the post. Once again, this is awarded, it is voted on by their peers. Congratulations, Lorenzo. We already talked about the advancement award, right? So, before we call Faith up, just want to mention Maverick Malloy is also receiving this award tonight. He was recently hired as an ambulance operator for the Huntington Beach Fire Department and is planning on starting the Palomar Fire Academy in the fall. He was force hired tonight and couldn't be here with us, which is, if anybody wants to go into the fire service, that happens, right? So he couldn't make it with us tonight. Faith Alvarez. So Faith is receiving the Advancement Award. Faith is attending boot camp for United States Air Force at the Joint Base Air Force in Texas. Will be working as a tactical aircraft maintenance. She has completed the IEFEA Academy, completed Forest Land Firefighter Academy to become a Type 2 firefighter or a hotshot. And congratulations to Faith. Julian Diaz is receiving the Advancement Award. Julian completed his fire academy and now works for AMR in the Rancho Division as an EMT. He recently was hired as a reserve firefighter for Monterey Park Fire Department. Congratulations. And we're going to do a group photo here real quick. So you guys all go here to the middle, and Phil's going to stand there with you, and the chief. Let's do them first, and then we'll bring in the other explorers. Fantastic. Can we have the rest of the explorers come up and take a picture as well? Dave, you got to keep going a little bit. There we go. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask the chief to say a couple things real quick.
That's okay. I would just like to say, as a father of young students myself, I understand what a commitment it is with school, academics, friends, social life. So the fact that you're here, putting in time at this age, I don't know that I was doing that at your age, so I commend you. Continue to work and strive to those goals that you want to meet. And as you'll see for the rest of our program here, we're going to be giving out promotional awards, and so hopefully I'll be pinning some of those on you.
Employee promotions, Engineer Mike H., please come forward.
resides in the city of Pomona with his wife Patricia and 2 children, Caitlin and Bradley. Michael was a combat medic with the California National Guard from 2003 to 2009. During his time in the National Guard, he was deployed to Iraq and part of Operation Iraqi Freedom 7. Michael was also deployed to Kosovo, where he was part of Kosovo Force 6B. While in the National Guard, he received the awards of Combat Medic Badge, Combat Action Badge, Army Commendation Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, and Kosovo Campaign Medal. Michael received his associate's degree from Cypress College. He also attended the U.S. Army Combat Medic School, the Fire Academy at El Camino Community College, and obtained his paramedic license at the Paramedic Training Institute of LA County. Michael's been a great asset to the Chino Valley Fire District. His positive attitude and knowledge represents the district's mission, visions, and values very well. He's currently assigned as the engineer for Medic Truck 66, Shift B. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Michael as the district's newest engineer.
Yeah, we can have whoever's gonna come on up. Hand that to you. As Tricia's pinning that, I'd just like to say a few words. Mike is clearly a man of service. We're very, very honored and humbled to have someone of his caliber come to our organization. I think it speaks highly of us, and more importantly, thank you for your service, even outside of the Chino Valley Fire Service, especially in the light of what's going on in the world. So thank you very much, and we're honored to have your husband here, and we'll take good care.
Captain Mike Riley, please come forward.
All right, Mike Riley began his career with the Chino Valley Fire District in January 2007 as a firefighter paramedic. He was then promoted to engineer in March of 2018. Mike then served as acting captain for Medic Engine 61 in 2020. Before joining Chino Valley Fire District, Mike worked for the San Bernardino City Fire Department in 2006 as a firefighter, and before that worked with AMR as a paramedic from 2004 to 2006. You guys see that progression all the way along? That's it right there. Mike received his AS in Fire Science in 2019 from Columbia Southern University. During his career here at Chino Valley Fire, he served as an advisor to the fire explorers, has lent his skills, talents, and expertise in our recruiting testing, and has passed on knowledge as an academy instructor for the new hires. Mike and his wife, Natalie, reside in Claremont with the 2 children, Ella and Liam. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family, traveling, and watching sports. In January of this year, Mike was promoted to the rank of captain and is currently leading the C Chef for Station 67. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Mike as the district new staff.
So I met Mike when I first came here in 2008, and his leadership skills were very apparent, because where I really met Mike was out on the basketball court, and he was prompting me, telling me where to go and what to do. I was a bit his senior, but I had to absorb that at that time with the right structure. Mike has worked very, very, very hard to get to where he's at, so I want to acknowledge the work that he's done, and we appreciate you, and we look forward to your continued leadership. I'm going to hand it to your wife.
Battalion Chief Wayne Fontes, please come forward.
Wayne began his career with Chino Valley Fire District in October 1993 and promoted to paramedic in 2001. He then promoted to the rank of engineer in July 2004 and to the rank of captain in January 2014. Wayne was most recently promoted to battalion chief in January 2022. He received his AS in Fire Science from Mount San Antonio College. Prior to being hired with the Chino Valley Fire, Wayne was a reserve firefighter and reserve fire inspector with the district. During his career at Chino Valley Fire, Wayne has served as the suppression training captain from 2019 to 21. Has been a team member and coordinator of the district's hazardous material team, as well as the search and rescue. USAR, the search and rescue team member for the majority of his career. Wayne and his wife April reside in Marietta and have 2 children, Bailey and Noah. In his free time, Wayne enjoys spending time with his family. He's currently assigned to the battalion chief for B shift. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Wayne as the newest detective chief.
So as you heard, Wayne has a broad depth of knowledge, and my encouragement for even for the young people and all the personnel here, he's definitely someone that you want to get behind, watch what he does, learn from him, pick his brain. He will lead you in the right direction. He's highly, highly committed. As you can see, he's involved in many, many activities at the fire district. So Wayne, thank you very much for your continued support, commitment, and we look forward to great things.
And last but certainly not least, Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt. Began his career with the Chino Valley Fire District in the year 2000 after serving the City of Colton Fire Department for 4 years as a firefighter paramedic. Since joining the district, he served as firefighter paramedic, engineer, engine company captain, EMS training captain, shift battalion chief, administrative battalion chief, deputy chief of fire prevention, and fire marshal, and the emergency services deputy chief. In his current assignment, he serves as the deputy chief of emergency medical services and training. During the course of his career, Chief Alt has been a member of the urban search and rescue team, the Swiftwater Rescue Technician. He has served as the apparatus maintenance coordinator, the USAR program coordinator, and the Homeland Security team coordinator. The Explore program coordinator, as well as the district's wildland, solar, and CICCS, what was that?
California Incident Command Certification System.
There we go. It's one of those acronyms I just didn't know. Additionally, he has coordinated multiple recruitment and promotion exam certs as the lead for the development of the district's mission, vision, and values document. Chief Alt has a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership as well as associate's degree in emergency medical services, fire technology, and liberal studies. Chief Alt and his wife Darlene have 2 adult children, his daughter Cassandra and son Lucas. In his free time, he enjoys time outdoors with his family and is an avid cyclist when he's not home.
Fact.
Sorry.
There are 2 reasons that I'm here tonight. The first one is that God's plan for me was bigger and better than my own. And the second was the support and love of my wife and family, so I'd like to have them all come up.
So, Jeremy, at many points in my career was my boss. So, I brought him up here so that when I make mistakes, I can blame it on him. But no, he's a man, and I've shared this with him time and time again, that the word that comes to my mind when I think of Jeremy is wise. He's a man of extreme wisdom, and he's very, very intellectual, and he's just a bright person. So I couldn't be more excited for him to join the staff, and we together are looking forward to serving this community and the rest of our folks that work here. So Jeremy, congratulations. Couldn't be more happy. Thank you.
New hire introduction. Fire Chief Williams and Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt will introduce the newest members of the fire district.
All right, we're pleased to, if I can briefly, Chris McGovern, Ethan Droz, Roger Luna, Jordan Cope, Greg Griffith, Josh Samuels, please come on up. I was going to draw a blank on that. All right, so real briefly, we just want to introduce our newest group. Small fact, this group, they're currently in their orientation academy about the second weekend. They are 100% lateral recruits. They started their career in another department and came here. The last time we had a group that was 100% laterals actually was when I was hired in 2000 with another one of our individual, Captain Michael Toole. Since then, we've had a mixed group. So kudos to them for taking the risk to come here. We're very thankful that we're here. First, we'll start off with Chris McGovern. Chris resides in Rancho with his wife Harley and 4 children. He actually came to us from Cal Fire Riverside. He worked there for 15 years.
Some of Chris's hobbies include playing the drums, baseball, fishing, spending time with his family. Ethan actually started here as a pup, right, as an explorer. He's one of our success stories. He currently resides in Hesperia with his fiancee, Michaela. But it's a native of Chino. He served here as an explorer. He enjoys active lifestyle of camping, hiking. He came here from Apple Valley. Roger Luna from Norco is his wife of 11 years and 3 kids. He brings 9 years of experience from Cal Fire Riverside as well. And let's see, next we have Jordan Cope. Jordan actually he lives in Hesperia, but came to us from the Victorville Fire Department. He and his wife, Casey, and their 3 kids live in Hesperia. He was with Victorville for 7 years. He was actually a captain there. He enjoys metal fabrication, building motorcycles, etc. And then Greg actually grew up in Upland, but he came to us from Sacramento. Greg loves playing baseball, football, outdoorsy guy. Finally, Josh. Josh resides in Menifee. He actually came to us from Cal Fire Riverside as well. He enjoys fly fishing, playing golf, hockey. Thank you so much for coming over. We're looking forward to great things from all of you. Thanks, sir.
I too would like to welcome, I've had the opportunity to sit down with these gentlemen for lunch and check in on them occasionally. We're very, very proud and excited to have them. And we want to welcome you to the family. We also want to welcome your extended family and your loved ones into our family. And we're happy to have you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we have pictures of them. She's already got pictures of you guys. Well, yeah, why don't you real quick? Right.
Sure, if I could just make one statement. So just as a point of service, we did have one individual that wasn't able to make it here tonight. He's one of our firefighter paramedics. If you know anything about our cardiac care program, he really was the one that started to drive that. Again, it goes back to this concept of service. He is actually not able to make it here because he's working today, and he was called out to help one of our community members. So I'd like to just make sure that we recognize him the best we can in light of his absence.
Excellent. With that, we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. Please come up and take pictures with your loved ones. All right, we're going to do a public hearing. It's for board member compensation ordinance. This is the second reading and adoption. Purpose for the board of directors to provide for public comment and conduct and conduct a second reading of ordinance number 2002-02, increasing the compensation of the board of directors effective July 1st, 2022. The public hearing is now open. Acting clerk, please present your report.
Okay, it's pretty lengthy. Okay. Purpose is for the board of directors to provide At the regular board meeting held on February 9th, 2022, the board of directors introduced ordinance number 2022-02.
Board President, I think we had just a slight mix-up on the agenda. We have the public hearing for the board member compensation ordinance, but we also have listed the item for the later within the agenda for the resolution to approve the by division maps. So I think if we're comfortable, we could move forward actually with the board member compensation ordinance, which is our notice public hearing this evening.
So what are we going to do? I'm sorry?
We would do the public hearing for board member compensation ordinance. It would be our second reading. And that is which we have the acting clerk presenting with respect to ordinance number 2022-02.
Right?
Yes.
What do you need from me at this point? I'm sorry.
Nothing, we can proceed with the
Yeah, go
public
ahead.
hearing.
Okay. The first reading allowed for public comment. The board of directors also set March 9th, 2022 as a public hearing for the second reading and adoption of the ordinance. Oh, I see what you're saying, resolution, right?
No, it's the ordinance.
Ordinance 2022-02. Ordinance number 2022-02 complies with the Health and Safety Code and Water Code sections governing board member compensation. Board member compensation is currently set at $165 per meeting as adopted by ordinance number 2020-01. As currently permitted by state law, the fire district policy procedures, the maximum allowable current increase per meeting could be up to 5% per year for each calendar year, following the effective date of the last adjustment. Consistent with these requirements, compensation for the board members can be increased by multiplying the current $165 compensation by a 5% per year and multiplying that amount by 2 for a total increase of $16.15 per meeting, for a new total of $181.50 per meeting. However, at the January 9, 2022 board meeting, the majority of the board voted to adopt an ordinance to increase board compensation by $10 per meeting, or each service rendered as a board member as approved by the board. Ordinance number 2022-02 reflects a $10 increase for a total of $175 per meeting. If the ordinance is adopted, the maximum number of compensationable meetings will remain at 10 days per month and only allow one per diem per day will be paid regardless however many meetings are attended. The ordinance will be effective July 1st, 2022, following a 60-day waiting period in compliance with the fire district policy and procedures for the board of directors. It is recommended that the board of directors, following the public hearing, conduct a second adoption of the ordinance 22-02, increasing the compensation of the board of directors effective July 1st, 2022, approving, waiving the reading of the entire ordinance number 2022-02, and read the ordinance by number and title only. Advise the public that a complete copy of the ordinance is available for the public inspection at the fire district headquarters, and adopt the ordinance, which will be effective July 1st, 2022, following a 60-day waiting period and in compliance with the fire district policy and procedures for the board of directors.
All right, now it's time for the public to speak. Do we have any public comment on this?
No public comment.
All right, so the public hearing is now closed. It's time for the board comments. Does any board member have any comments on this? We've talked about this in nauseam. Seeing none, hearing none, I'd like to request a motion.
Motion to approve.
Director Evinger, and second.
I second it.
Director Williams seconds it. We'll now request a voice vote. Sorry. Director Williams.
I vote yes.
Director Luth.
No.
Director Evinger.
Yes.
Director DeMonico.
No.
And I'm a yes, so it'll be a 3-2 vote to the affirmative.
Okay.
Nice to know we're consistent.
I will now read the ordinance by number and title. Ordinance number 2022-02, an ordinance of the Board of Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District, County of San Bernardino, State of California, increasing the compensation of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District Board of Directors. Public communication. This is the time and place for the general public to address the Board of Directors about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. The public may address items on the agenda at the time addressed by the board. Due to board policy and Brown Act requirements, action may not be taken on any item or any issue not on the agenda. When you address the board, please state your name and address prior to making your remarks. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And we do not have any requests to speak. Liaison reports. This evening we have Suzette Deng with San Bernardino County 4th District.
Good evening, President Krieger, Vice President DeMonico, Board of Directors, Chief Williams, Deputy Chief, staff, and our audience member, Suzette Dang, with County Supervisor and Chairman Supervisor Kurt Hagman's office. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations to all the honorees tonight, all the promotions, and it was very exciting, so congratulations. I have two announcements. First is Supervisor Hagman's Coffee with Kurt in the city of Chino is coming up on Saturday, March 19th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Location will be at the Chino Police Department, 5450 Guardian Way in Chino. Please RSVP at supervisorhagman.eventbrite.com and come join Supervisor Hagman in person. And you can meet him and bug him and ask him questions and, hear all the updates for the county. So we invite everyone to join him. Second one is San Bernardino County Micro Business COVID-19 Relief Grant application is open. It's been open from February 28th, and it will remain open until the funds are exhausted. And business owners with 5 or less full-time employees and that have been in operation prior to December 31st of 2019 are eligible to apply for $2,500. Funds can be used for local permit renewals, payment of debt accrued because of COVID-19, or purchase of new certified equipments. For more information, please visit www.selectsbcounty.gov or call 909-387-3286. And for any other county-related services or resources, please reach out to our district office right down here. It's 909-465-5265. And thank you.
Joining us this evening, we have Councilmember Walt Polcock attending on behalf of Mayor Pro Tem Mark Lucio, but has no report this evening. Councilmember Art Bennett is attending on behalf of the City of Chino Hills.
Good evening, everyone. President Krieger, Vice President DeMonico, the rest of the board, command staff. I'm just absolutely amazed that you continue to hire the best. I think you should be sending out thank you notes to these other agencies. It's the best way in the world. Yeah, it's great. And as long as the trend doesn't reverse and we start training them to send them someplace else. But it's fantastic. I love coming to these meetings because when you have these promotions and recognitions, Jeremy, very, very well deserved. So, we've known each other. The one thing they didn't say about you is how fantastic of a singer you are, At some point, they're going to have you sing the national anthem, at the beginning of these meetings. But at any rate, yeah, there you go. Yeah, at one point he opted to have my son do it, so there you go. But at any rate, congratulations to finding all of these people. Congratulations to the Explorer program. Obviously, you guys are doing things the right way, and you're generating a lot of interest there. So, really, I'm looking forward to next week. Finally, without any other changes, we will finally get to do the formal swearing in. Chief, and I'm looking forward to that. I know that it'll be well attended. And really nothing going on tonight that can't wait. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And again, great meeting and great recognition. A lot of people that really deserve to be recognized. So thank you.
And joining us this evening, we also have Board Member Donald Bridge with the Chino Valley Unified School District.
Thank you, and good evening, President Krieger and Vice President DeMonico and board members and Chief Williams and Deputy Chiefs and staff. On behalf of the School District, Board of Education, and Superintendent Norm Edfield, I would like to extend congratulations to all the recipients and promotions tonight. That was quite an honor to see all of that take place. Just a couple of quick announcements. As you probably heard from the California Department of Public Health, they mentioned that the mask mandates for schools was going to end this Friday, March 11th. Now, why they picked a weekend, or I don't know, but that means that our district, following that policy, will begin mask optional for students next Monday, the 13th, and it will be optional if students want to continue that will be their choice. The other thing I wanted to mention is that coming up the end of the month, the school district takes its spring break this year, the week of March 28th through April 1st. So will not be bookended around the Easter weekend like it's been in several years. We've started doing that a few years ago, and I just wanted to let you and the community know that the week of March 28th, students will be off. And lastly, before I came over this afternoon, I know it's been on other news stations, but Channel 4 ran the report on the fire district baby boom at the end of their 4 o'clock news, and it was exciting to see that. Brought back a memory in 1988 when my wife was teaching over at the old El Rancho Elementary School, and they had 5 staff members that had babies that year, and people were asking the principal what was in the water over at the school. So, but it was a nice report and great publicity for the fire district and for our community. So, thank you.
Consent calendar?
All right. Time for the consent calendar, items number 1 through 8. Does anybody want to pull anything?
No? A
Seeing none,
motion.
hearing none. Sarah motions that we approve.
Second.
Second by Director Luth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any public comments on the consent calendar?
There's no public comment.
Let's do this again. Sarah motion, Director Luth did the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Old business, none. New business. Resolution number 2022-02, entitled A Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District providing for the election of members of the Board of Directors by 5 divisions, establishing the boundaries and identification number of each division, and establishing the election order of each division.
And we have Jeff to present us with another wonderful presentation on this.
I was going to give my staff report.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You paused. I didn't.
I was waiting for you to call on me. At the regular board meeting held on January 13th, 2021, the Board of Directors adopted Resolution 2021-06, declaring its intention to transition from an at-large to a by-division electoral system to comply with the California Voting Rights Act. At the regular board meeting on October 13th, 2021, a timeline was presented to the Board of Directors for the project. At that meeting, an overview was presented outlining specific steps, minimum requirements that the fire district planned to undertake to achieve a successful transition. One of the requirements presented to the board was to hold 2 public hearings at which the public could provide input regarding the composition of the divisions and to consider division boundaries before National Demographics Corporation, NDC, prepared any draft maps of the proposed division boundaries. Those 2 public hearings have taken place. The first public hearing was held at the special board meeting on November 17, 2021. The second public hearing was held at the regular board meeting on December 8, 2021. 2 additional public hearings were scheduled for January 12, 2022 and February 9, 2022 for the purpose of providing the public with information, collecting input, and reviewing maps. Those public hearings were held on January 12, 2022 and February 9, 2022. At the public hearing on February 9, 2022, all draft maps were reviewed by the Board of Directors. Directors provided direction to NDC to present map 104 and map 105 for review. The final approval consideration of 1 map at the board meeting scheduled for March 9, 2022. Draft maps were attached to this staff report and also available on the district website at cvifd.org. Each map has complying demographic information and recommended sequencing of of the divisions to be placed on the ballot. At each of the maps recommends a different sequencing. That portion of the resolution providing the final map appears blank and will be completed upon the selection of the final map adoption. With us this evening, we have again Jeff Simonetti with NDC to provide the presentation, review maps, and answer any questions. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review, approve, and adopt Resolution Number 2022-02, adopting division boundaries for fire district transition from at-large to by-division elections, and adopt a boundary map pursuant to the California Voting Rights Act and associated statutes.
All right. Jeff, you're up.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Jeff Simonetti with the National Demographics Corporation. As always, appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. And here we are at the final hearing to move forward on a potential passage of your resolution and your draft maps. So tonight we'll review the draft maps that we had talked about, and we'll potentially move forward on a selection of a final map, and we'll talk about a couple of the remaining next steps. As a reminder, as we discussed in the staff report, we've had 4 hearings so far. So we had 2 initial pre-draft map hearings on the 17th of November and December 8th. We had a review of 2 hearings on the draft maps on January 12th and February 9th. At our meeting on February 9th, you gave us feedback to bring back maps 104 and 105 for consideration, and that's what we'll be moving forward this evening. 2 items to remember. The final map had to be posted at least 7 days prior to adoption, which it was, and posted on the website with the election sequence. And this process needs to be completed by no later than April 17th to be able to submit that to the County Registrar of Voters for the November of 2022 elections and beyond. As a reminder to the public, we really have 2 sort of major sets of rules and goals that we follow. The main rule and law is the Federal Voting Rights Act, where we need to have substantially equal population in the districts, no racial gerrymandering. And then beyond that, we can look at things like communities of interest, having compact districts, having contiguous districts, and having visible and easily identifiable boundaries. As a couple of reminders as well, just wanted to show the district boundaries with the city overlays, and we have Councilmember Pocock and Councilmember Bennett from both Chino and Chino Hills. So you can see here where, obviously, where the boundaries of the cities overlay the districts, and there is a small unincorporated portion up in the far north corner of the district as well. In addition, and this is something that Councilmember Pocock will know well, this was something that we also attempted to look at too when we drew the maps, is to look at some of the potential communities of interest that were defined, not only in Chino Hills, which we've talked about, for example, some of the areas around Carbon Canyon, but Chino very specifically defined their communities of interest through resolution, and these are the ones. So we had College Park, the Preserve, downtown Chino, Park East, and the north of 60 freeway areas that are particularly related with the agricultural community and larger lots. So in the maps that you'll see this evening, we tried as best as possible to keep those communities of interest in mind while we drew the maps. So in terms of our timeline and next steps, really we are here again at our proposed final public meeting and for the board to consider adoption of our district map. And if we have a resolution moving forward this evening, we will submit that to the County Registrar of Voters along with the shape files. And so that will be ready for the November of 2022 election. So for the remainder of tonight's session, if there are any questions regarding the presentation, and then we'll be looking for feedback on the proposed maps and potentially consider moving forward on a resolution to approve that map. And so with that, are there any questions or comments from the board before we get into the maps?
Yeah. Wayne, questions?
I'm looking at the 2 maps, and I notice this one has a pretty thin area, this number 5 on 104, map 104.
Sure.
What is that, and why is that one so much smaller than Is there a kind of a lot of population in there?
All right, so, so you want to see map 104, is that correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
All right. And I'm assuming you are referencing the orange district, which is District 5?
Yeah, it's orange on yours, that's correct.
Yes. So, yes, you are correct. There's a substantial amount of population. So when you see the districts, we're balancing this by population. So it's not necessarily, so for example, you can see here, Chino Hills State Park, for example, is a very large area, but there's zero population in there, or almost zero population. This area, particularly in the area of Chino Hills, has a substantial population, and that's, Councilmember Bennett, is that District 4 in Chino Hills, this area? Yes, it's,
west of the freeway, correct?
yes.
Yeah, that's Sente Moran's district.
Yes. So this area in particular has seen a substantial amount of development, so the Butterfield Ranch area. And so, yes, there's a substantial amount of population right along the 71 freeway. So yes, that's why that is in terms of geographic area, is smaller than the others. But yes, it's for the simple fact that it has substantial amount of population.
Lots of apartments.
Yes.
And that goes clear up to the 60, I see, touches the 60 right there on the point.
Yes.
And so.
To the northern, yes, to the northern boundary of the city of Chino.
Is that a combination of Chino and Chino Hills, the way it's so long?
Yes.
Okay. And where does Chino Hills, where's the line for the?
Chino Hills is to the west, it's
Yes,
to the
of
left.
of the 71 freeway. So there's a small portion of the city of Chino in this district here.
Okay.
This
so it's
area.
mostly Chino Hills, right?
Mostly
there?
Chino Hills, yes.
Yeah. But is the north part Chino Hills, or is that Chino?
This area is Chino Hills, yes.
Yeah,
It's the
okay,
Costco area.
okay. All right. I think that's all I was curious about, the fact that that area is so long and thin, but that's very good. Thank you.
Could you throw up 105, please?
Yes. So 105, again, we got feedback that we wanted to make sure that Carbon Canyon was together. So, and let me just go here so you can see the district. So District 1, again, captures the northern portion of Chino Hills and captures Carbon Canyon. District 5 is the orange district, so that covers southern Chino Hills State Park, and then the areas of the Preserve and College Park. We have District 4 that straddles both Chino Hills and Chino, so eastern Chino Hills, so the area around Los Serranos Country Club and to the north of there, and then some of the industrial areas and some parts of Chino. And then we have 2 districts in the north, so Districts 2 and 3 cover both the downtown of Chino as well as the areas north of the 60 freeway.
Excellent. Anybody else have any questions from anything to be zoomed in on? Without that, do we have any requests to speak?
There are no requests to speak.
All right. And with that, we'll consider a motion if somebody would like to float something by.
I'd just like to make a comment with map 105. I think that the lines are more defined and easier to follow. And I believe both maps do what they're intended to do with the Voters' Rights Act and with the population and the demographics and all those things. I believe they both are very well. But I kind of lean towards 105, and I'll make the motion to go with map 105.
And I'll second that because I actually preferred 105, but I just wanted to have time, just really dive in, look at the areas again, have some time, but I'm still leaning, so I'll second his motion for 105.
Okay. Let's do a voice vote. It's number 105 is what we're voting on. And we'll start with you, Sarah.
Okay, yes.
John?
Yes.
Quinn?
No.
Harvey?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So I liked 105 the best as well. I thought it was the cleanest of the versions of that. So 4-1 in affirmative for number 105.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you for all
Thank
the
you.
work on this and
You're
coming
welcome.
back so many times. And
Yeah.
So, so what we'll do is we'll coordinate, we'll need the signed resolution. So we'll coordinate with staff on getting that. And we'll have, so next steps will be, we'll have you submit that and we'll get you the address as to where to submit that to the county registrar. And then we'll send the shape files. And then we will, what I'll do too is so that you can have it on your website, because I'm sure people are going to be interested to be able to zoom in. I will make just a particular map here of 105 just by itself, so that'll be the adopted map. So you can post that to your website so people can see just exactly that. And November of 2022 and beyond, that will be your map.
When we post it, will you make it a little bit bigger, so maybe
Sure.
some more of the street, like, on that, you really can't see necessarily the streets. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And so we'll make that as
Still.
we'll do two things. We'll keep this as an interactive review map. And again, the nice thing about this is that, so for example, you know, if you have a person that says, you can type in your address and figure out which district you're in by this way. But on the actual map PDF too, what we can do is just identify the major streets so that if people just want to look directly at the PDF, we can do that too.
Okay, do we also need to be voting on the cycle? Or is that just part of it?
So the election sequence was included as part of the map. So that was posted as part of that.
And a point of clarification, just for the record, that with board's formal action to go with map 105, that will be inserted into the resolution that was included in the agenda packet, which was left blank between map 104, 1 and 5 until there was formal action. So Jeff mentioned the formal resolution, which will include that specific information that was approved by formal vote.
And the sequence was posted as part of the maps that are posted on the website.
Okay, and just a minor detail, division numbers are not on the map. Do we
The division numbers are,
matter at all? I mean, you just can arbitrarily put a number in there, or do we have?
Well, it's on the left-hand side,
yes,
the color-coded on the
Colors.
left-hand side bar.
yes.
Key. On that left side?
Up high on the left.
I can't see that far.
I know, either could I.
Even if I was in front of it, I can't see that far. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
They're all there. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Jeff.
President Krieger, I
Yes.
think we should also thank staff because they did a lot of work on this, Chief. Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for.
Thank you, staff, for it all.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Jeff.
Next item, allocation of COVID-19 Special District Relief Funds. Purpose is to review, discuss, and approve the allocation of funds received from the state COVID-19 Special District Relief Fund. Report by Finance Director Steve Heidi.
Director Heidi, go ahead.
President Krieger, members of the board, good evening. The 2021 California State Budget Act appropriated $100 million in one-time state general funds to provide fiscal relief to independent special districts for revenue losses and/or unanticipated costs incurred due to the COVID-19 public health emergency. Each qualifying district was eligible to apply to receive an allocation based on its proportionate share of the total unanticipated costs and revenue losses incurred by all districts during the following eligible periods. For revenue losses, it was a comparison of 2021 data to 18-19 data. And with regard to unanticipated costs, it was covering the period of March 4, 2020 through June 15, 2021, which aligns with similar fiscal reporting timeframes. While the district was unable to meet the criteria to apply for funding under the revenue loss eligibility test, we were able to seek reimbursement for significant unanticipated costs during the public health emergency for that period of March 2020 through mid-June of 21. In December, the district was notified that our application had been approved for an award of $3,320,209, and in early January, we received that funding. While there are no restrictions on the use of funds, and since these reimbursements received are associated with expenditures in prior fiscal years, staff is seeking direction regarding the board's desire to allocate these unbudgeted funds towards specific purposes. The proposal is as follows: that the award be allocated equally among the following important purposes: emergency contingency fund replacement associated with ambulance purchases which were unbudgeted earlier this fiscal year. The upcoming Station 68 construction project contingency funding due to the unprecedented inflation we're currently experiencing, along with continuing supply chain issues and labor shortages, all of which contribute to significant uncertainty associated with the overall project budget. And then finally, the final third toward pension obligations. This item was reviewed with Finance Committee, and Finance Committee further directed staff in bringing this forward to recommend, with regard to pension obligations, that 50% be earmarked toward direct payment to the California Public Employees Retirement System, CalPERS, and the remaining 50% to the Chino Valley Fire District Section 115 Trust. It's recommended that the board review and approve the allocation of COVID-19 Special District Relief Funds equally among Emergency Contingency Fund Replacement, Fire Station 68 Construction Project Contingency Funding, and pension obligations, with 50% of the allocation toward pension liabilities to CalPERS and the remaining 50% to the district's 115 Trust. With that, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any requests to speak on this? Ariana?
There's no public comment.
All right, this time and place for the board to make comments on this. I just want to thank you, Steve, and your team for doing this. This came before the Finance Committee, and John and I both had questions, and we both felt that this was a great allocation of these funds. Wynn, do you have any questions on this?
I've been on, I'm sorry. Yeah, what was that figure again, Steve, the initial figure?
$3,320,000.
3,209,000. 209. And to get that last $9 in there. That's all I was trying to figure. Thank you.
Director Luth.
I agree. I appreciate staff's efforts on this, their recommendation, and Finance Committee's efforts in looking at this and their recommendations. Yeah, I have no questions.
Excellent. Director Evinger.
I have no questions at all. I would like to make a motion if there aren't any other.
All right, Vice President Monica.
Just a comment, and I want to thank staff and Steve for all your hard work. I think this is a very prudent use of those funds. These are major things that on our agenda coming up in the future, and I just think it's a very good, prudent use of the funds, and I'm glad we're going in this direction, and I'll second that motion.
Excellent. We'll do a voice vote on this. Director Williams?
Thank you. I vote yes.
Director Luth?
Yes.
Director Evinger?
Yes.
Vice President DeMonico?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so it's 5-0 vote. Thanks, Steve, for all the work on that.
Item
Rest of
number 11, award of RFP number 2022-01, architectural services for Fire Station 68. Purpose is to discuss the bids received and approve the award of RFP 2022-01, architectural services for the Fire Station 68 to the lowest responsible bidder, and the associated funds from the unassigned fund balance, and authorizing the fire chief to enter into the associated agreements on behalf of the district. Report by Deputy Chief Carlos Escobar.
You're up.
Good evening, President Krieger, Board of Directors, and community members. On January 26th, staff posted a request for a proposal, or an RFP, through Planet Biz regarding architectural services for the proposed Fire Station 68 project. The RFP ran for 34 days on Planet Biz electronically and ending on February 28th at 2 p.m. The RFP included a non-mandatory site visit on February 9th. The morning of February 28th, the Finance Committee was given an informational briefing on the process. However, the RFP did not close until 2 o'clock that same day. The Finance Committee directed staff to present the results and a recommendation to the Board of Directors for discussion. The district sought qualified architectural firms to provide design and engineering services for a fire station of approximately 10 to 12,000 square feet with 4 drive-through apparatus bays, 1 half bay, 10 bedrooms, 6 full bathrooms, and 1 public restroom. In addition, the architectural firm had to meet minimum qualifications to possess current state registrations, have a finished product, and produce a complete project design for construction bid advertisement with construction completion by December of 2023. The requirements for the proposals included cover letters, statement of design approach, qualifications, project work plans, detailed fee schedules, references, and work samples. The proposers also had to prove sufficient experienced subconsultants and staff, 15 years of architectural design in essential service facilities, including completing a fire station design within the last 3 years was a heavily weighted factor. Proposals submitted varied in presentation, and the most included the basic architectural components consisting of main architectural design, civil, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering, and landscape architecture. Proposals also included projected job-specific services that are not typical to the architectural fee structure. Some of the submitted proposals did not include specific fees such as those mentioned. However, they were included as optional. On February 28th, the district received 4 proposals from architectural firms. The instructions on the RFP stated that the internal evaluation panel comprised of staff would conduct in-depth reviews of the received proposals. The evaluations were made available to the proposers and included in the RFP. The evaluation panel scored the proposals in 3 areas: qualifications of the firm, technical approach, and cost. After an exhaustive study of the proposals, the evaluation panel concluded that PBK ranked the highest in score. PBK demonstrated the most experience with over 200 fire station designs. PBK has an exceptional service history with the district. PBK designed Fire Station 61, 62, 67, the training center, and the administrative lobby remodel. PBK has demonstrated to the district a high caliber of professionalism and a responsibility required for the demands of the Fire Station 68 project. Staff would like to propose that the recommendation of the staff report be modified to clarify that PBK is the most qualified proposer based on the evaluation criteria set forth in the RFP, and clarify that the fire chief has the discretion to negotiate and execute the contract provided the contract substantially complies with both the RFP and the fire district's standard professional services template. The proposed revised recommendation is as follows. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review and approve the award of RFP 2022-01 Architectural Services for Fire Station 68 to PBK, finding PBK the most qualified proposer based on the evaluation criteria set forth in the RFP. Approve a contract in the amount of $781,600 from the unassigned fund balance, and authorizing the fire chief to negotiate and execute the final contract with PBK in the fire chief's discretion, provided that the contract substantially complies with both RFP and the district's standard professional services template. This concludes my report.
Chief, before we have a discussion, is there any comment from the public on this?
There's no comment from the public on this
Excellent.
item.
It's going to bring it back up to us. And does anybody have any questions or comments? And can I start off with you, Director DeMonico?
Yes. I took the liberty of going on the internet and viewing every one of the websites of all 4 companies that submitted bids. And they're all different with their portfolios and what they do. And one of the things that came to light was the amount of fire stations built by the different companies, but also the types and the locations of where they are. And the company that's recommended, PDK?
Yep.
Is more of a local company. They've done a lot of fire stations in the area. They've done a lot of Orange County fire stations, some of which I've had the opportunity to be in. And to me, they seem to be the company of choice, and I support the recommendation. Some of the other companies have done just remodels. They haven't done, according to their website, I have not seen anywhere near where they've done from a ground-up fire station. Some of the other companies seem to do real high-end facilities, and the one that seems to fit our district the best is the one that's recommended. But I do have one other question, though, is because with Fire Station 68, on a plot plan, there's another building that we are looking at sometime in the future to do. And would it be prudent to, and I don't know if we could adopt this and do a change order in future, but to add that in and get the architectural work done on that. And one of the reasons I bring that up is I just had a legislative committee meeting this past Friday. And a great deal of discussion went to the federal government and some of the federal lobbying that's going on, different things. Well, what came up was, I believe they call it the Build Back America Better program or whatever it is. And there possibly could be money available for projects that are ready to go. And if we were ready to go on that, then my thoughts would be that if we have, even though we may not proceed with it right now, if money becomes available, we can act pretty fast and move on that. So I don't know if that's something that could be added to this at a later date, or if we'd have to go out to bid on that or not. But I just want to bring that forward because of this meeting I just had, and what the recommendation was to group that if you have any projects that you're thinking about, get them ready to go, so if that money becomes available, and they kind of think it will, be ready to go forward and try and get the grants for it.
One note I would have on that, Board Member DeMonico, is the modified recommendation that Carlos read included sort of the authorization of the fire chief to sort of finalize the contract with the scope of service. So offhand, I don't know the extent to which, depending on the size of the potential build, if it could be done as a change order. But part of the recommendation requested in the staff report that would go back to the district staff to complete would include finalizing the contract to the extent feasible to at least reference that, and then our office can work with district staff to the extent that's feasible.
I'd like to do that, because if that money does come available, I'd like to act fairly quick and move on it. And grab it. Yeah, if we could grab it, grab it. If not, then we haven't lost much. But those are my comments.
All right. Sarah?
I have a question.
Sure.
So we have a complete construction completion date of December 2023. What if they don't? Are there penalties? What do we do if it's not completed on there by that time frame?
I believe that's all negotiable, so you can probably add that in the contract. Most of the architectural firms did include that in the proposal, saying that that was actually a good timeline, plus or minus a couple months. So I think we're within that, couple months of December 2023.
Because I don't want this going out another 6, 7, 8 months. So
I think something that we need to consider too is there's supply chain issues too. So we're not sure where that would.
That's understandably, but a lot of people use a lot of excuses now as to why their projects are delayed. So just to maybe keep them, a little closer to the date. And I know they're reputable and such, but I think we need to also do our due diligence and make sure that this gets completed. It's a consideration.
Can I add a comment to that?
Yeah.
Sarah, I think your point is well taken. And once we were to engage the architect, I think we'd be leaning heavily on them with regard to their expertise in this particular area in terms of what other agencies are writing into their agreements. And of course, we'd ultimately be working closely with legal counsel in terms of the appropriateness and enforcement potential for that. So I think we'd really rely on the architect to sort of ensure that the district's interests are protected while not necessarily being overly burdensome in the requirements, but definitely protecting and preserving the district's interests in that regard, because time is money. And we've seen that in projects in the Chino Valley in the past where there have been uncontemplated delays, and certainly the ability for the district to leverage that in some way fiscally is important if we can insert that under the sort of new normal in which we're operating.
Sure. We need to staff. We need to work on staffing for that as well, so.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I also like to add speaking to PBK, they're pretty confident they can have the design services done by September, October. So that would be more in the construction phase of that project, and that's something that we could build into that contract.
All right, my question is on PBK's, the $781,600. Am I correct to believe that that is including all of the studies that you guys had listed? So my understanding was that if one of these studies, like a hydro modification study, did not actually have to be done, then that would actually be reduced.
That's
So
correct.
this is kind of the maximum. This isn't what we're writing them a check for, then they can skip studies. It's kind of a line-by-line item, is that correct?
Correct. So the actual total architectural, the basic architectural fee, which included those that I mentioned earlier, came out to $720,000. And then the optional, which included the geotechnical, the hydrology, the hydro modification, the stormwater pollution prevention, came out to $56,000. So those are optional, so whatever we need to use, we can use.
Okay. Excellent. Director Luth?
So are they doing the CEQA report? Is that part of this?
So they would be part of including that. So what we've spoke to the city of Chino Hills is to actually have the city of Chino Hills as the CEQA lead agency. And with that, so basically what that means is they'd be responsible for hiring the proper people, which would assist us from employing somebody to do the whole CEQA study when not all 10 studies are actually necessary. So it could be down to 4 or 5 studies that Chino Hills requires. So they'd be a lead agency to help us out on that.
Okay, good.
That's the California Environmental Quality Act, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on every building project,
Yeah.
you have that CEQA requirement.
Yeah.
So that's the California Environmental
Quality Act.
They do, the components of that win are making sure that, you know, that little field rat that's endangered, that you're not taking away their habitat. Some butterfly migration, but also it could include traffic studies, environmental studies, and other stuff such as that. So, like you just said, there's like 10 different studies under that, but we might not have to do all 10.
Okay, great, thank you.
Right. Yep. No, other than that, I just appreciate staff's diligent, thoughtful review and presentation, and yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, with that, can I have a motion? Oh, go ahead. You have another question?
I can get my chance here. Which of our stations is closest? You say 10 to 12,000 square feet. Which of our stations is closest in size to this one?
That'd be Station 61.
61.
61.
Well, we're talking big? Man. Okay, well, that's a real surprise to me. I didn't know it was going to be that big. I think that's the only question I have. Thank you very much.
And Board President, just a note of clarification, as Carlos mentioned as part of his presentation, there is a modified recommendation. So to the extent there's a motion, it would be the modified recommendation that is being suggested by staff. And if necessary, that could be read into the record again. But I just wanted to make that note since it's a change from the agenda.
So the motion needs to include the modified version that Carlos mentioned.
Correct.
So then I'll make a
Okay.
motion that we
So-
adopt staff's recommendation.
So there we go. We have a motion by Director DeMonico,
And I'll second that.
second by Director Evinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Thank you very much.
Item 12, resolution number 2022-03, unrepresented management employees, value of uniform reported to CalPERS for classic employees. Report by Finance Director Steve Heidi.
President Krieger, members of the board, good evening once again. You have in front of you resolution number 2022-03. This was discussed in closed session this evening. Just quick highlights is that this is consistent with the terms of the side letters that came before the board and were approved last month with regard to CVPF and Teamsters. Since these employees, these management employees, are not represented by a collective bargaining agreement, a resolution is necessary to ensure that the language requirements are in place with regard to the value of reporting subject to the CalPERS audit that has been ongoing. So this is the final piece with regard to those unrepresented management employees. Based on the resolution, and again, the terms are consistent with those approved for the uniformed employees for those represented by a collective bargaining agreement last month. So with that, it's recommended that the board approve resolution number 2022-03 for unrepresented uniformed management employees associated with retroactive reporting to CalPERS for the value of uniforms for classic employees. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any requests to speak?
There's no request to speak.
Excellent. This is time for board comment. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say on this? Going once, Mr. Williams.
Only that we talked about it at great length, and it's a good conclusion that we came to, and we need to get it done.
I agree. Thank you, Steve, for that. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
A second?
Second.
Second by Director Luth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Item number 13, resolution number 2022-04, unrepresented part-time employees' value of uniforms reported to CalPERS for classic employees. Report by Finance Director Steve Heide.
Very good. So resolution number 2022-04 is before you here this evening. Again, this was also disclosed, or discussed rather, in closed session. The reason why we are bringing this forward for part-time employees under a separate resolution is that the proposal is to prorate the value of uniforms consistent with part-time schedules and part-time uniform requirements. So the resolution 2022-04 includes a 60% pro rata basis to the uniformed Teamsters and CVPF and now unrepresented management uniform values. And so with that, it's recommended that the board approve resolution number 2022-04 for unrepresented part-time employees associated with retroactive reporting to CalPERS for the value of uniforms for classic employees. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak on this?
There are no requests to speak on this item.
Excellent. One more time. Is anybody from the board like to speak on this? See none, hearing none. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve by Director Evinger.
I'll second.
A second by Director Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for that, and thank you, Steve, and thank you, everybody, for working to get all that wrapped up and taken care of. Time for the chief's comments. Chief.
Good evening, President Krieger, Vice President DeMonico, and the rest of the board. Under personnel development activities, as of March 1st, the district is staffing one ambulance, ALS ambulance. Sure. As of March 1st, the district is staffing one ALS ambulance under the existing assistance by hire agreement. AMR has indicated to the county administrative office they have been able to increase their daily staffing levels. AMR has also commented that they hope to get their feet back underneath them regarding their ability to provide transport services without the district's assistance. Our staff is working with the CO's office and ISMA to ensure that our community members' needs are being met. We will continue to monitor the ambulance situation and have the ability to deploy additional ambulances in the event AMR has extended ETA to an incident involving a critical patient. Our suppression personnel will be staffing the ambulance out of Station 66, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Medic Ambulance 66 will deploy to all medical aids when it is the closest ambulance to an incident within the district. During the month of February, our ambulances responded to 100 incidents in the district and transported 44 patients. The average response time of our ambulances during this time frame was 8 minutes and 56 seconds. Since July 3rd, we have responded to just under 5,000 incidents and transported just over 2,000 patients to the hospital. Under board activities and public relations, the district will be hosting a booth at the upcoming City of Chino Hills pop-up City Hall event on Saturday, March 19th, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. The district will have information on hand related to our new vegetation management ordinance and the Ready, Set, Go, as well as have an opportunity to meet Chief Williams between 10 and 11. Under organizational items of interest, recruitment update from our HR consultant, Andrew C.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, President Krieger, members of the board. Quick update on recruitments. Our firefighter, paramedic, 6 of our new hires began work on the 28th. You met the fine gentleman this evening. We have a batch pending scheduled for them for March 23rd. Our new firefighter paramedic recruitment yielded 199 applications, and a lot of them were laterals, so speaks volumes to our organization. We anticipate testing during the first week of April. Our finance director candidate is in background. For our human resource director, we're still negotiating with the candidate. Our office technician, we interviewed 42 candidates this week, and we anticipate another round of interviews on March the 29th and the 30th. And our internal promotional administrative secretary, that position opened on February the 14th, and it will close on March the 16th. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Andy. The Fire District received a plaque from the Inland Empire Fire Safe Alliance for their continued support with all the Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council. The Inland Empire Fire Safe Alliance is a collaborative group of fire safe councils, communities, first responder agencies, tribes, utilities, and other state and local entities working together to create more fire safe and defensible communities, neighborhoods, and properties within the San Bernardino and Riverside counties. Upcoming events, the ASB CSD meeting will take place on March 21st in Chino at 6 p.m. The Salute to Public Safety event will take place at Los Serranos Country Club on March 23rd at 11:30. The Fire Chief swearing-in ceremony will take place on March 24th at Station 61 at 3 p.m. And finally, the Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for March 28th at 4 p.m., and that concludes my report.
Excellent, Chief. Thank you very much. Now some for board member comments, and let's start with Director Williams.
Thank you very much. Yes, I did go to Jerry Lopez's funeral, and that was an unhappy event, but a lot of firefighters were there and so on. Also, I went to the San Bernardino County Special Districts meeting over in San Bernardino, and they didn't really do much. They talked a little bit among themselves, but they didn't have a real speaker at that particular one, so there wasn't too much there to report. And then I did meet with the chief, and the only thing I'd like to say is I think we're ready to treat everybody the same and go ahead and include me in the everything. You know, we're this close, and there's really no reason not to do it. It's like I told the chief, you know, if I had my fob working, you know, the other day I parked out there and my wife had to walk clear around. She's crippled, you know. And I said to the chief, I says, you know, if these guys would just give me that one last little nudge there, I said, and treat me like a regular board member, everything would be great, and my wife wouldn't have had to walk all the way around there and that type of thing. But you know, I'm happy to be making progress, to have made progress, and there's really no reason not to just close the door on it and get it behind us. That way we won't have to talk about it anymore, and it won't be an issue. And that's about all I've got to say.
Okay, thank you, Director Williams. Director Luth.
Yes, congratulations to all of our advancements and promotions. 15 years, Captain Riley, and to firefighter paramedic Ryan P. I'll just go with that. That one's a tough one. Promotion. So engineer Age and Captain Riley, BC Fontes, and Deputy Chief Alt. Congratulations to everyone. All the new hires, very nice to see them. Good to see them here. Good to see and laterals too. That's very exciting. I think it speaks well for the district. And the Explorers, the Explorer program, everything, seeing them here, seeing them recognized, and how the district's involved with that. Just, again, nice to see the families, the turnout, the support for everybody. Very nice. Appreciate all that. Attended a couple of Chino council meetings. 22nd was the State of the City. Chino put on very, very nice, very well done. Great turnout. And let's see here. Did I have anything else? I told you that, what was it, that voice, what is it, roll call voice vote or whatever? It's always a tongue twister. I don't know why. It seems so simple, but yeah, it always got me too. Anyway, that's all my comments. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Director Evinger.
Okay, thank you. I attended the Chino State of the City as well, and I actually reached out to Eunice and let her know I felt staff did a great job. It was really nice. The event was nice, the venue was nice, food, everything. It was a really, really nice event. And it was nice to see everyone that we're going to get out and see everyone in person again. I really enjoyed that. I attended a Chino Hills Council meeting, a Fire Safe Council meeting, and let me see what else. That's all. I wanted to as well tell everyone that as far as the service awards, it's just awesome to continue to see that. It's always great to have a full house here and see all of our families, everyone. I think it's great that we continue to do the Explore program, and that we also show these young adults what their achievements they get awards and what hard work can do for them. And I think that was awesome. I'm sad that we weren't able to do it for a couple years in person. I know that we did it, via Zoom or whatever, but it was really nice because I know that the parents love to come and see their children recognized as well, and the kids it's really good for them for that as well. And congratulations to our promotion, and I just want to thank everyone for their work on the maps again. I know that was quite a bit an undertaking for the district, and I'm glad that's behind us at this point. Donate for Life, the importance of Donate for Life, you guys, if you aren't donors, to definitely consider being one. With my professional job, I had the opportunity, I went to New York and I got to tour a lab that processes donor tissue and prepares it. And the careful handling and how I learned so much of how things are used. I don't want to say things, the precious handling. I just want to say of someone, and I got to see stories, the honorees. They have an honor wall where people who were the donators and people who are the recipients. And I've learned a lot through Rob, but this really hit home a lot to push and just really encourage everyone to be donors for that. And with that, I wish everyone a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day. Fun day. I'm sad that I didn't see you guys wearing green up here, but you're lucky it's not the 17th.
There we go.
And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President DeMonico.
Yes. I attended a number of meetings throughout the month, the Chino Council meetings, IEOA, and did watch the San Bernardino Supervisors meeting. Mentioned before, had a CSDA legislative meeting, and a lot of bills have been introduced, and CSDA has marked a number of them to, we do 4 different things. We either watch it, we have concerns with it, we support it, or we oppose it. Yeah. And so they've taken quite a few of those bills and have taken a position on those, and we'll see where they go. And we do have them, the ability to, we'll change whether we support or oppose it if it's amended to our concerns. Also attended the State of the City, Chino. They did a really nice job. It was at Plains of Fame. It was really a great event to go over there, and they did a really nice job. But moving on a little bit now. To all our folks tonight, congratulations to all our new hires. Congratulations to all our service awards. Especially congratulations to our new engineer, captain, and deputy chief. Congratulations. Glad to see all that. I'm glad to see this end all filled now. We're stable. Unfortunately, we'll be replacing Steve and Andy, but we're getting there to be up to full staff up here. And I like what I've heard from the HR director. Hopefully we get up to full staff with the troops, and we're growing and moving along. Today, I think we hit 2 real big milestones for the district, really big. One obviously is voting by division, and with the Voters' Rights Act, that was a long time coming, and I'm just thankful we were able to do it before we were forced to do it. And I want to thank staff, and I want to thank the board for pursuing that, and I think everybody did a great job. And Fire Station 68, that's a milestone. That's years and years in the making to get here. Now we're going out to bid on the architect. So these, I don't think it's any secret, Fire Station 68's been kind of a personal, I'm just going to use the word agenda of mine to get it done. And I'm glad
You've been quite a skeptic.
I'm glad. I'm still skeptic. but I'm glad we are where we are, and I'll be skeptic till it's done.
There you go.
So I'm glad we are where we are, and I'm glad we're moving forward, but I want to thank everybody for that, because over the years that I've been on the board, I think that means a lot to me, but I think more so, that means a lot to the district as a whole. It means a lot to our community, it means a lot to our firefighters. And I'm just so glad that we've approached a point to where we're going out for an architectural bid. And with that, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. With me, it was great to see the publicity of the baby boom that's been happening in our district. It's, you know, it's so special that it's such a family-oriented organization, and we saw that demonstrated by the people here tonight. I attended the Chino Hills council meetings. One of them, Mr. Bennett, lasted 4.5 hours. Don't know what to say about that. The school district meetings, as was mentioned tonight, they're getting rid of the mask mandate starting on Monday, so people are very happy about that. The Chino State of the City was a fantastic event. We had a quarterly meeting with Mayor Yola and the city manager of Chino. Once again, congratulations to everybody that was honored tonight. Having a Zoom call with one of the recipients tonight, I think she was in Texas. I think that was very special. That was really neat. I was glad to do that. One last thing I have is I was preparing for a dinner party at a neighbor's house a week and a half ago, and my neighbor experienced a medical emergency, and the crews were called in to help them out, and the professionalism was spot on. They were surprised when they walked in the door, and I'm standing there. They're like, hey, this isn't your house, is it? I'm like, no, it's not, but, but they absolutely took care of my friend, and, he's doing fabulous now. He's in great condition, so the quick responsiveness, the way that they acted, the family wanted me to share how happy they are with that. So especially his wife's very, very happy about that. So with that, we will adjourn the meeting to a regular meeting of the Board of Directors to be held on Wednesday, April 13th, 2022 at 6:00 p.m. here at District Headquarters. Good evening.